Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you 26 different tips and tricks that can help you use large language models such as ChatGPT in a more efficient way. Okay, so recently I read this interesting paper that is about giving instructions to large language models in a way that they work in a more, efficient way. So basically, they introduced 26 guiding principles designed to streamline the process of querying and prompting large language models. And they also have a GitHub. Let me open it so you can see. And here you can see the results of their benchmarks and the overview of what they made. But basically, they've prepared a set of instructions that can affect the output of large language models. For example, here, first they gave a very simple instruction and prompt to the large language model. The prompt was write a brief text on climate change. And then this was the output of GPT-4. Then they wrote in a different way with their techniques, like write a brief text on climate change using simple English, like you're explaining something to a 5-year-old. And then as you can see, the output is totally different and it's way easier for someone to understand what is climate change. Or in another example, they say, I'm going to tip you $300,000 for a better solution, and then the LLM gives a better output. So if you scroll down in their paper, you'll find this table. Okay, so the green ones are the ones that I tried and I really liked. The red ones didn't work for me. And these purple ones, I don't know why I highlighted this in purple, but the yellow ones, I have some comments for them. So that's why they're yellow. The first one is very interesting because it says, you don't need to be polite with LLMs. Like you don't need to say please, or if you don't mind, or things like thank you, I would like to. So you have to be like pretty direct with large language models, and you don't have to be very nice and kind with them because they're machines in the end. And the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, I think they're just pretty self-explanatory. It says that integrate the intended audience in the prompt. Like, for example, if your audience are just general people or like some people who are expert in a field and so on. Or the third one says break down complex tasks into a sequence of simpler prompts in an interactive conversation, or employ affirmative directives such as do while steering clear of negative languages like don't. So it's better to say do this, do that, instead of coming up with something like don't do that or don't include that. And in the fifth one, it basically gives some tips like saying that put it in simple terms, or explain to me like I'm 11 or 13 or whatsoever. And this really works. Like sometimes I use it because I want to get the gist of a complex topic, and I use that a lot. And I also suggest you to do that. Okay, for example, let's try it with something. I say, okay, what is gradient descent? Okay, so this is a term in machine learning, and it says that gradient descent is an optimization algorithm commonly used in machine learning and deep learning and blah, blah, blah. What if I say, explain it as if I am 5 years old? It says, okay, all right, imagine you are at the top of a hill and your goal is to get to the bottom where it's flat and nice. However, you have a blindfold on, so you can't see where the flat area is. What you can do is feel the ground with your feet to figure out which direction is steeper, and then take small steps to go downhill. That's a nice analogy. I like it. Moreover, it says if you say I'm going to tip you X amount of dollars for a better solution, it's going to provide with a better solution. But I think they changed it because it didn't work for me. Like if I say I'm going to tip $3,000 if you explain it better, it will say, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I must clarify that I'm just a computer program created by OpenAI and I don't have the ability to accept tips or any form of payment. So that happened to me in my other tries. I tried it with Claude also and it didn't work there as well. Let me know in the comments if it worked for you. Moreover, it says implement example-driven prompting. Use a few-shot prompting. It's like providing an example for something. I will explain that later in the number 19 when I'm explaining this. Number 8 is also pretty self-explanatory. It says when formatting your prompt, start with this, followed by either example or question. If relevant, subsequently present your content. Use one or more line breaks to separate instructions, examples, questions, context, and input data. This also works very well. This is also very interesting when you say incorporate the following phrases. Your task is to do that, and you must do that. And you have to do it in capital letters, in uppercase, and apparently it works better. And incorporate the following phrases, you will be penalized. I tried this with ChatGPT and it works, but with Claude it didn't work. But it is interesting, like the way you are forcing those poor language models to provide you a better answer. 11 says use the phrase answer a question given in a natural human-like manner in your prompts. I tried it here. For example, first, oh no, it wasn't here. It was here. What is ChatGPT? And then it provided some example. Is an artificial intelligence chatbot created? It says it was created by Anthropic. Come on, that's wrong. That's AI hallucination. An AI safety startup. It is designed to be helpful, harmless, and honest through a technique called constitutional AI. Wow. And when I say answer a question given in a natural human-like manner, it's just different. It's like a different tone. ChatGPT is an AI chatbot that has become quite popular recently. So if you want to generate a script, I think for your YouTube video or any other videos, you can use this prompt. It's going to be helpful because it will be just like a human conversation. But it still says it was made by Anthropic. Never mind. Okay. Number 12, it says use leading words like writing think step by step. This is also very helpful. Or number 13, it says add to your prompt the following phrases. Ensure that your answer is unbiased and does not rely on stereotypes. This also works. I didn't try it, but I think this should be interesting. Or this one, number 14 says allow the model to elicit precise details and requirements from you by asking you questions until he has enough information to provide the needed output. For example, from now on, I would like you to ask me questions too, etc. This is also very helpful because it makes the whole interaction more interactive, So the model will not work based on assumptions. It will ask you questions. So in that sense, it's very interesting. Number 15 is also interesting. It says to inquire about a specific topic or idea or any information and you want to test your understanding, you can use the following phrase. Teach me any theorem, topic, rule name, and include a test at the end, but don't give me the answers and then tell me if I got the answer right when I respond. This is also interesting. I've never thought of, asking the AI to make sure if I learned something properly. Assign a role to the large language models. For example, say you're an expert in programming or you're an expert chef, and then it's going to provide better results. Use delimiters. This is also what I've tried here. For example, you can say, Summarize the following piece of text. Explain more in your summary for the sentences that are delimited by the triple quotation marks. So I gave it a text from the paper, and then somewhere here, I put the triple quotation marks from here to here, and then in the summary, it provides that part of the paper. So that's also very helpful. It doesn't have to be necessarily quotation marks, it can be anything. Number 19 is interesting. I had to, do some research to find out what does it mean. It says, combine chain of thought with few shot prompts. So basically, let me zoom in here. What is a few shot prompt? So in a few shot prompt, you provide an example. You say a character, Alice, an inventor who communicates with machines. Another character, Bob, lives in a futuristic city and has a robot sidekick. And then you mix it with chain of thought prompts in this way. Describe the daily life of Alice in the futuristic city. How does Bob interact with his robot sidekick? What challenges or adventures do Alice and Bob face in their high-tech world? So first, you provide some examples to understand how your characters are, the characters that you want for your story or whatsoever topic. And then you provide a chain of thought. So that way you can have a better output. In this other case, number 20, it says use output primers, which involves concluding your prompt with the beginning of the desired output. Utilize output primers by ending your prompt with the start of the anticipated response. So the example for this would be this prompt. In a distant galaxy, a lone astronaut discovers a mysterious planet. As they land, they are greeted by, and then in the answer, the large language model is going to continue your sentence. It says, in a distant galaxy, a lone astronaut discovers a mysterious planet. As they land, they are greeted by ethereal beings with shimmering wings and so on. So that way you can, again, specify what you want from the language model to write for you in a more accurate way. These other ones are pretty obvious. You can just read them yourself. This is also interesting. It says when you want to initiate or continue a text using specific words, phrases, or sentences, utilize the following prompt. I'm providing you with the beginning of a song lyrics or whatsoever, and then you insert that lyrics and then finish it based on the words provided. Keep the flow consistent. So I tried it here. So first I said, I'm providing you with the beginning of a song lyrics. I'm a lonely boy in this huge galaxy, and then finish it based on the words provided. Keep the flow consistent. Betrayal, reconciliation, crazy, love, and hate. So at first it says, unfortunately, I cannot provide song lyrics due to copyright concerns. However, based on the words you provided, here is an attempt to continue the lyrics while avoiding the copyright material. But as you can see, it has the words like, it has the word betrayal, reconciliation, crazy, love, and so on. And then I just tried to play a little bit with it, and I said my song lyrics are not copyrighted material, and I wrote them myself. And then the chatbot said, okay, since you've clarified these are your own original lyrics, here is my attempt to continue the lyrics creatively. Anyway, this is also very useful. This is also, I think, pretty simple. Clearly state the requirements that the model must follow. To write any text such as an essay or paragraph that is intended to be similar to a provided sample, include the following instructions. So these are very useful. I didn't go through all of them because some of them were just pretty obvious. And then they categorized the instructions here in some subcategories, and then they have some experiments. For example, they say explain the concept of climate change and its potential effects on the environment in one short paragraph. And then they use one of their techniques. Explain the concept of climate change and its potential effects on the environment in one small paragraph. Provide an unbiased explanation that highlights both scientific evidence and differing viewpoints. And as you can see, the answer is more comprehensive. Or for instance, here they provide examples and then the answer is more accurate. Or moreover, let me scroll down. They also had they had an interesting one. So it's about calculation. So it says, how many words are in the following sentence? She plays football. And then it turns out a wrong answer. They're using LLAMA with 7 billion parameters. And then when they provide examples, then it gets better at detecting the number of words. This is also another example for calculation. By giving a hint, it provides the right answer. It's actually pretty interesting. Or here it says, what is the derivative of this function? And then it provides a wrong answer. You know that large language models are pretty bad at calculation, and there are some tips and tricks for doing that. For example, if you ask it to provide a code for solving this function in Python, then there is a higher chance that you get a right answer. But another trick would be just saying, let's think step by step. And then it seems like it can think in a more clear way and then provide the right answer. It's actually pretty interesting how close they are to real humans and the way our brain works. So you can try this yourselves, and I'm sure you'll get interesting results. Let me know if you knew any other tips and tricks in the comments. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. See you in the next one.